Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. And hang on to your children. Every day, twice a day, I've been coming on this live stream for the last 18 months. That's twice a day, 14 times a week. I'm on at, typically, I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning. Except on the weekends, I'm on at 8, but this special weekend, I have an engagement where I have to go, so I come on earlier in the morning, 4 a.m. And I want to give a warm welcome to all of you because you found the right place. Fight CPS with Bob Pace. CPS in different parts of the world. There are, in all 50 states, there has been agencies that have gone rogue. They're not doing what they're supposed to do, protect their children from neglect or abuse. In fact, families have been torn apart and seen what a horrible, horrible thing that a government entity can do to a family. I too was a victim of CPS, so I talk from firsthand. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father and a husband. I have 42 years of marriage experience and raised 6 children, 3 young ones and 3 older ones. It's my younger ones that were attacked and trafficked into foster care and alienated from their parents. And what I try to do is to help you with my experiences to fight CPS and get your children back or hang on to your children if you haven't lost your children yet. I've developed 5 rules that would have helped me in my case. I would never have lost my children in the first place. Now, I'm a little bit red from spending all day in the sun at the 50th Long Beach Grand Prix. I worked there as an area supervisor. I've been doing so for 50 years. It's interesting. I started that thing at 25, and now I'm a little bit older than 25. But I want to help you understand and how to go about getting CPS out of your life. Now, this is a worldwide epidemic. Not only that, there's 22 countries. My newest country was Congo. And anyway, I've heard from people in Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and Libya. Then over Africa, I've heard from Liberia, and then Rwanda, the Congo, which is the newest one there, and Sudan, and then Mozambique, and then South Africa, several provinces there. Then up to Europe, it's England, Scotland, Wales, and Denmark and Sweden. Across the pond, it's North America, 4 provinces in Canada, and then all 50 states. I've heard from all 50 states, some of you many times over. And also the District of Columbia. And south of border, Mexico, then down in South America, north of Brazil, on the East Coast, Grenada, then across the Pacific to New Zealand, and lastly, the land down under, Australia, and 2 states there. There's a lot of people, over 1,000 people I've talked to, text to, phone called, have been a guest on my podcast. And I'm glad you've come to this right spot because I'm here to help you. And um, I know it's early in the morning here on the West Coast. The East Coast is about almost 8 o'clock in the morning. Hold on one second. Excuse me. So I'm here to answer your questions, your concerns, and try to guide you in the right direction. CPS is a serious matter and should be your full attention to it. Not all CPS is bad, and what I call CPS is the Child Protection System. Good morning, Akima Richardson from New York. From Brooklyn, New York, we have KK Richardson, who also has a live stream on Mondays at 5:30 p.m., I believe. Anyway, it's good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a while, Akima. And I'm on early because I have a commitment today, but I didn't want to miss you guys. It is recorded, so you can play back it for later there. But Akima has been fighting for her life about her children. It's sad. She stops in time to time, and she tries to help other people with CPS matters. I go back to court to get to the decision on the fact finding April 30th, and that's when they're going to try to have the they're going to try to have something done to her, Akima. And good morning, Barkley. And she's from Montana, and she's talked to me on the show too. Barkley is a dear person and has an extremely bad case. Akima says the decision of fact finding, and then they're going to terminate her parental rights at the same time because I've not spoken to my children since April 23rd of 23. That's over a year. Some of her family members have turned against Akima, and that really makes it hard. That really makes it hard. I know they're trying to terminate your rights, and it's wrong. A parent should lose his rights to his children, especially if a parent wants to reunify the family or lesser children. It's wrong what they're doing to her in Brooklyn, New York. The same thing goes for Bartley in Montana. Akima further says, so based on the timeline, the FAFSA timeline, and the relationship being suffered due to social workers and forced parenting violating the parental plan. Oh boy. That doesn't sound good, Akima. It's wrong what you're going through. It really is. Now, I have lots of topics we can talk about. I like how you all can interact with this live stream by just coming in and sending me emojis like thumbs up, smiley faces, hearts, even send stars to me. Please check below to follow me and write reviews, and then also you will be notified when I'm on. Click the notification button. That's how a lot of you know that when I'm on there. And further, Akima says they took one of my children out of town and the other one stayed here, never told me where the trip was going to be, to, and never told me where my other child was going to be staying and never go. Kima says they never gave me the option to say yes or no. When my rights are intact, they just used. Yes, they do. The CPS, what she's at, is bad. She also has family members that have turned against Akima. She's fighting this alone. That prudent parents standard and have restricted violation, ignored court orders, and civil rights, parenting plans, and civil rights. I agree. Now, Bartley says, Bartley is from Montana. Okay. Bartley says, thank you, Bob, for what you do here. For you, okay. I thank you, Bartley. Thank you very much. Now, I'm using my son's computer, and so the lighting's off, and I'm trying to read the passage. Hopefully, I can figure out how to get a computer. I don't know. Computers are expensive. I've been saving my money now for several weeks. Um, okay. Before I forget, besides watching, listening, taking notes, you can also do other things on here. You can text me a message. Now, when you text me a message, it can be a comment or a question that pertains to CPS. Please show me your first name, your city or county, and the state. Also, if you're from another country, which I've already said the countries for another country. Also, please tell me about your CPS case from beginning to where you're at the moment. But I do love questions and answers and so forth. Another way that you interact with this live stream is to be a guest. Be a guest on my live stream. All you have to do is contact my show producer, Grace, who works behind the scenes. Her email address is grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's grace@vincentwdavis.com. And just say the day, and the time you want to be on her show. I'm on morning or evening. I'm at 7 o'clock on normal times, 7 p.m. But tonight, in the last couple of days, I've been on at 9 o'clock p.m. And you In your email, say what would be Bob's Sunday morning show or Bob's Wednesday evening show or Bob's Thursday morning show. You just pick morning or afternoon, Monday through Sunday. And Grace will send you a link to StreamYard, which is the application I use on YouTube. It's a link that you can join me, and I have up to 9 of you at one time, so I can have lots of you there. And you can talk about your case to be a guest. Now, one of the benefits of being a guest or to be able to be on my live stream is you get a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. That's a Zoom consultation. Furthermore, another way that you can participate is to call in right now at 626-698-0990. That's my phone number. I'd like very much to hear from you. Now, Kima further says, Bob, whatever no name is to let her know that, yes, it's possible to appeal, but it's not really appeal. It's called what Mr. Davis stated as a writ of quorum nobis, but you have to see if it's applicable. Now, I think I left out some important messages there. How do I connect with Betty Joan Montana? She's on from time to time, and she's a foster care mom. And I think the next time you're on and she's on, then you can connect. Now, Kima says her due process violated the very beginning when my children are removed with no reason. They remove what school based on allegations that were submitted a year prior to this removal. Now, Kima says everybody in this room can see the messages if you're from the YouTube. I'm trying to poach your guest, Bob, but would Bartley like to be a guest on my show on Monday? Yes, that's fine, Akima. You're here to help, and I know you do. And you said maybe to connect with her. Yes, Bartley. I talk to her every day. Actually, talked to her this morning, Barkley. So she has talked to Betty Joe. Now, No Name is from Annie, Wisconsin. Has a question. Can a person get a new trial on new evidence if the past time to appeal when the evidence comes out? Well, if there's time limits with the appeal, so if the appeal has not run out of statute of limitations there, you can appeal. Also, if you have new evidence, you can do what's called file 388 motion. And that alerts the judge you want to speak before the court. And you also can have a new trial if something was wrong in your case. But again, it's very important that you have an attorney. Now, Kima is an attorney, by the way, for all you listeners out there. But she has hired an attorney. Now, Akiba says Bay Joe sometimes comes on her with as a co-host. So, Barkley, Akiba Richardson is on Facebook. You can find her. I'm not sure about Betty Joe. Akiba says, Bob, whatever no name is to felt her know that yes, it is possible to appeal, but it's not really an appeal. It's called what Mr. Davis says a quorum nobis, but you have to see if it's applicable. And Barley says she'd love to be on your show, Akima, so you two could work out how they connect there. So thank you, Bartley, for talking with Akima. Good morning, Akima. Welcome to my live stream.
My phone was like going in and out, so I said, you know what, let me try and call, and that way you could understand what I was trying to say.
Okay, go ahead.
So as far as which state that the person was asking about, new evidence, basically, depending on what state you reside in or the case is being heard in, you have to follow the rules of procedure. So depending on what module you're in, and if the writ of quorum nobis is allowed to be, admissible in your state, then that is a writ that Mr. Davis, has, suggested to be, admitted. Basically, you can go from the beginning up until where you are in any module. If there has new evidence has been discovered, or if evidence was, not, put in, and that could have been something that could have swayed the decision or given you a different parenting plan.
Right.
But again, it's based on state. So if, it is applicable in New York, and I have absolutely submitted one based on exculpatory evidence not being presented in my case, and there were social workers delivered service logs that were not, admitted for discovery that could have, prevented the removal based on the allegations being mental impairment.
Correct.
But, since the timeline has, basically exceeded, the federal guidelines, where if a child is in, placement or in, CPS custody for 15 out of the 22 consecutive months, then the goal must be changed to adoption, although it may not, end up like that. But most of the time, we know how CPS is.
Right.
So they're going to terminate anyway, and then they sever the relationship to show that it would not be detrimental to the child if, your rights were severed, because they have severed your bond by restricting, visiting or therapeutic assistance within the family dynamic. They don't assist you with resources. That way they can show there is no relationship between you and the child, and it is best to sever the relationship, because depending on how long the child has been in the foster home or with the kinship or guardianship, these children form a bond, and they don't like to remove the children, one, based on funding, and two, they feel it would be detrimental to the child.
Correct.
But they don't, regard us as the bio parents, because we are the parents that the children know. And if they are young children, they adapt to comfortability. So they are going to attach based on, just genealogy, nourishment. They're going to be attached to the person that feeds them, that they see every day, and that puts a smile on their face.
Right.
And if they have severed visits or restricted visits, that is very hard for a bio parent to try to implement some type of proof showing that it would be detrimental if the child was separated from the parent.
Right.
So you need to request a bonding study immediately when the TPR is submitted. And I've also done that.
Yeah. Well,
so it's just, Mr. Bob, I am very, very grateful for you, Mr. David, Miss G, and Betty Joe. She's like the greatest. Like, I really feel bad what's going on, but a little bit of an update. I don't know if she told you. She has been able to see her niece because her brother gets parenting time because they were trying to sever his rights. And, she's going to still be able to have the relationship with the child, but they're still restricting it and not honoring the ICPC.
Yeah. Well, she had picked up her child.
She submitted a new one for her niece. So, thumbs up. She's adorable.
Right. Well, she says her son is trying to get the child back to him. The mother wants nothing to do with it. Her brother. I'm sorry. Yeah, her brother is trying to get the child back. He's had a bad road. He didn't have a job. He got a job. He loses a job. He has trouble with drugs and stuff, but he's
clean. He's been going to a program. He's been doing
right. He has been doing that. And so the mother wants nothing to do with the child. But then there are the people that the child stayed with that, yes,
They plan on allowing the mother to have parenting time and then trying to make it seem like she's mentally impaired or unfit to sever the rights, and based on, the relationship or lack of relationship that they assume that Betty's brother has with the baby, because they're only giving him a half an hour 3 times a week. That's an hour and a half a week.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not fair, because how do we as parents, honor the goal of return to parent if these agencies or these workers are not giving us the resources and support for these things that, ultimately cause the removal or cause CPS to get involved.
Right.
Why is nobody being penalized for this negligence? And this is ultimate child abuse. This is not only child abuse, this is child endangerment, maltreatment, and violation of, your mandate as an officer, of the court. Based on your mandate and your job scope, you are supposed to provide these things for families in crisis or indigent families that don't have knowledge or resources. This is not okay that, they bias us parents based on history or based on, social structure or based on being abused in our own home, and then when we reach out for help, we our children and ultimately our child, we're the victims of the DV. But then we get penalized for trying to be proactive in getting our children to safety. But evidently we're wrong because we shouldn't have put them in that place to start with. But we're not fortune tellers, we're parents. We make mistakes. We get tired. And, we get overwhelmed, but we are still parents. And I don't understand how that is constitutional to take our children and just play with them like they're puppets, and we have to prove to you guys, the agency that never gave us anything to restrict this type of, situation, but yet ultimately are supposed to trust you to give good feedback and have us walk on eggshells. Like, we spend the rest of our lives looking over our shoulders. Even when you get your kids back, it's like you never can have a normal life. And I'm speaking from experience. Like, my children live 15 minutes, up the road from me. And I haven't been able to see a graduation. I haven't been able to say happy birthday. And then this foster parent took my children out of town. And this is just unbelievable, the laws they break, and there is no reprimand. Because based under some of the things that these social workers do and that the comments that I've been reading, throughout your podcast, Mr. Bates,
yes,
these people should really, really have like some type of mass orientation to show that these things are not part of your duties, performed for the job.
Right.
But yet you're severing children and expect us as parents to give you the same comfortability as we did when we came to you and thought you were going to help us. And ultimately, you stole our children.
Right. There should be some type of sanctions that the CPS, the Child Protection System, should go through, um, because it's wrong what they're doing. It's wrong for them to really leave parents hanging dry, to leave them suspended. I mean, children are going through a rough time when they're no longer seeing their parents. And the best parents have been the biological parents to raise children. So when the children are taken from their parents and unable to see them, that is hurting the child. The child doesn't understand. And CPS doesn't want to explain it to the children. All they want to do is use the children for money. Yeah, I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry.
I said they.
According to CPS here, my children have, expressed to the CPS workers and the foster parent that I cause them nightmares. They don't want to have anything to do with me, and I all I do is call the police and call in foster care reports because I have no life and I have a win at all cost attitude.
Right.
Like, my child had 2 fights in school. Nobody called me, and yet my child was hurt because she was not on her psychotropic medication. So again, where's the reprimand for the inadequate guardianship as a foster parent?
I agree.
And for that aggression to the point of physical, harm, why did you not notice the decline if she's been in your home for 734 days?
Right.
You should have known it was not calibrated on the medication, and that was negligent.
Yeah.
It's just, these children already have enough trauma being separated. Then they have their own, whatever, if they have any diagnosis or if they have any services, they have to transition to either another provider based on, location, just when they're getting comfortable, or everything that is familiar to them, such as, the area or the people, even their school. Sometimes these children are uprooted and, moved all over the place. And, if it's with relatives, then I'm all for it. But
Right.
if you're another foster parent and you're not trying to be conducive or, co-parent in a cordial way to, basically satisfy the goal, whatever the goal may be, you cannot tell me that as a foster parent, you can sleep at night knowing that you're not helping to make the situation better, and that is your job.
Well, there's a lot of bad foster parents. Now, Betty Jo is an excellent foster mom, and
She's the greatest.
she really is. She really is. She's not there to take advantage of the situation or to use the agency for money or anything out there. She really cares.
Comes out of her own pocket. We know that.
Yes.
She's just really, she's really nice, and it's bad that, we're shuffling. I can't say we're. These agencies are shuffling our children around as though they're free.
Right.
To the highest bidder, as long as it stays within their funding, limitation.
Right.
If they go out to the county line, find another resource within the county line, so the funding stays in the county or the city or whatever, however the state is. I mean, however your CPS statute is set up, whatever state you may reside in. And it's really sad. It really is.
Well,
and sometimes these non-custodial parents, they do custodial and non-custodial parents because, we make mistakes as well. The parents that have the physical custody. But when there is parenting time allotted for another parent, I feel like if the parent is causing more harm than help, and CPS has not adequately, cleared them, because they don't. They just want to get them away from you. They don't care who they place them with. As long as it's my family and as long as it's not close, I'll be accountable.
right.
That's their main focus. They just left. And that's really sad.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even let me tell that my kids have allergies, Bob. You're telling me I'm destabilizing because I'm expressing to you that my children have allergies, and you're arguing with me that they're my children. I'm just like, I really feel for you parents. Like, just to let you guys know, I always say don't ever stop fighting. Innocence is worth it. I wrote that phrase. Innocence is worth it. Because we as parents, everybody in the room, hear me and hear me clearly. We as parents are not perfect. But the one thing we did perfectly is we had our children. They are perfect, priceless, and innocent.
Right.
And innocence is meant to be fought for. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going to sign off because I'm going to let somebody else talk. I know I talked a lot. But, if anybody needs any legal advice, like Bob said, I could be reached on Facebook at KK Richardson, KAYKAY Richardson. Or you can reach out to Grace and be a guest on my show on Mondays, on Manic Mondays with Miss K, and come tell your crazy maniacal story if you choose to.
Right. If you guys want to be a guest on the Kiba show on Mondays, all you have to do is to contact Grace at VincentWDavis.com. Grace at VincentWDavis.com. And she'll gladly have you on the live stream. And she does this weekly. And so there's a lot of us people out there that are trying to help you all. And boy, my voice is sounding really bad. But it's been too much.
About the allergies, right?
No, it's the work I'm doing this weekend. It's a lot of people. I'm responsible for 175,000 people. I have 3 grandstands, and I have the police and the fire and everything. Yes, I will be. But thank you so much, Akima, for coming on to talk.
I want to wish everybody, for all those that do celebrate whatever religion, happy resurrection. This is a rebirth, guys. Take it in stride.
Right, Palm Sunday, the week before.
It's worth it, okay?
Yes.
So have a great day and stay positive. Keep fighting, Janet.
All right. Well, thank you, Akima.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You take care. All right. That was Akima Richardson from Brooklyn, New York, who's a remarkable mother who's trying to get her children, but she also gives back by doing her live stream. So encourage you want to be on her live stream. That'd be great. But I want you to know out there that these 5 rules I've come up with really help you. 1, we need to get an attorney. You need to get an attorney that is schooled in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. A criminal attorney is not going to help you. So you need that. Also, a court-appointed attorney or a public defender is not going to help you. They're not schooled in the right kind of being an attorney. And they're certainly not going to be there to help you through this case because they work for CPS. And they're going to do the easiest way out of it. So, with that being said, you got to be careful. You got to be careful out there. So get a real attorney. And you need to get at least 3 quotes. And I give you Vincent Davis. For instance, right now, his retainer in LA County is $5,000. His hourly rate is $500 an hour. But he can be reached at 888-888-6582. If you call in or you're a guest on my live stream, you can have a 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. He'll talk to you privately. And a lot of you are doing so. And that is great. That is great. Now, besides looking for an attorney, you need to keep track of your documents. Get yourself a notebook and create something called an incident timeline. It's where you take 3 lines on the paper. The first line is the location, the date and time of the incident, whether you phoned it or not, your phone number, and then the people involved. The second line is the summary of the incident. The summary of the incident. The summary of the incident. And that's a 1-sentence summary. And then the third line is the results of the incident. You record that for all incidents with social workers, with CPS, with the police, with whoever you have the incident with. That would be your way of keeping track of everything. Because 6 months from now, you won't remember it. So get that subject dividers in a notebook and put all your court documents in there and organize them. Rule 3 is you do not talk to social workers. You don't let them in your home. You don't give up your children. You have constitutional and civil rights. You need to learn about them. They have to have a warrant if they're going to take your children or talk to you. They have to have a warrant. It's got to be a legitimate warrant, so be careful of the fake warrants out there. Also, if you encounter the social worker outside your home, be very nice to them and tell them that you need to have your attorney present. It's your constitutional right for all proceedings to have your attorney. That will give you some time to get that attorney, and then you can meet with them again with that attorney. Watch the medical trafficking, taking your child into urgent care or the emergency room of the hospital, because they have social workers that will try to take your children away from you. Don't let them. They need to have a warrant. Also, if you're a mother-to-be and you're going in to have your baby, don't let them come in and take your baby away. It's really important that you do that. So anyway, I'm going to end my live stream and see you again tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I want to say to you all that do not give up. Keep fighting. Keep fighting for your rights and your children. You'll eventually get your children back, as long as you stick with the program and try to follow what they're doing. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be hard. But I know you guys can do it. And I'd love to see you again at my live stream. And starting Monday, I'll be back to my normal time of 10 a.m. in the morning and 7 p.m. at night. That's Pacific Standard Time. God bless y'all, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Akima, for calling in from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you, Barkley, for your comments from Montana. You two have been a part of my live stream for a long time. And make sure I didn't forget anybody else that may or may not have called in here. I think those are it. And thank you for all you all in there listening. And Pebbles, Mullane, hang in there. I know it's bad, but it will get better. So God bless y'all. And this is Bob Pace signing off.